Very good morning, guys. Welcome back to our YouTube channel. So today, yeah, we know that yesterday and day before yesterday that there weren't market and there will be a huge nice new news is going on and it will definitely and they will affect the today's market. Then there is actual gap opening today. You can see the charts. Here in the Nifty also it has opened in a gap up. So there is a multiple indexes and also some stocks which have been open in a very big gap. And hope you guys all had a like very great weekend. Today is Monday and as always like before the market opens fully, settles into its rhythm. So we are just going to break down everything, what happened on Friday and what news came in overnight and why we saw gap up today and what you should be watching for the rest of the coming week. So we'll cover Friday's closing numbers, which is in Sensex, Nifty, and what led the rally, and what happened overnight, which is also globally, like U.S. markets and crude oil, and also Asian markets, and why GIFT Nifty indicated a weak opening today. So, but the actual market opened with gains. Also, FI&DI data, who's buying, who's selling, and sector performance, banking, IT, and others, technical levels for Nifty and Bank Nifty. And also, finally, what we can expect this whole week, coming next week. So, let's just rewind to Fridays first because everything that happens today is connected to how we closed this week. So on Friday, Indian equity benchmark gained for a third straight session with sentiment staying bullish as a crude oil prices weekend. So now this is important. 3 days in a row of gains is a strong sign for momentum building gap up, and is the higher part of the reasons was falling oil prices, which we'll get into shortly. And we'll talk about the numbers. The Sensex ended the day to 87 points, which is higher, and closing at 77,789. And also the Nifty 50 advanced the 95 points, which closed at 24,271. And also here's something interesting during the day, which is like the rally was actually much more stronger than the closing numbers like suggest. At one point, the Sensex was up as 655 points, and the Nifty touched an intraday high of 24,378. So there was some profit booking towards the end of the session, but overall it was still very solid and also green Friday. So, you guys might be wondering who led this rally. Of course, the gains were led by index heavyweights like HDFC Bank, Bharti Airtel, and ICICI Bank. Also, the HCL Technologies. Also, Sun Pharma, Bajaj Finance, also Tata Steel. So, it wasn't just an one sector pulling the whole market out. You had private banks like telecom, IT, pharma, and metals are contributing here. And it's kind of like broad based rally that gives the market real strength, not just one of or two stocks popping up the whole index. So let's just talk about the money flow here because like this tells you who's actually driving this whole rally, foreign investors or like domestic investors. So on Friday, yeah, foreign institutional investor FII broad shares worth 1,330 355.33 crore. On the other hand, domestic institutional investors, which are DI, the net sellers offloading stocks worth 1,953.89 crore. Now this is actually meaningful shift because FII have sold share worth massive 2,73,564 crores so far this year. That's actually a huge amount of continuous selling. pressure from foreign investors through the whole year. So seeing them turn into net buyers even for a session is something actually worth noting. So in fact, one market expert made an interesting comment on this. Like according to Dr. V.K. Vijay Kumar, chief investing strategist at Geodit Investments. FI is sitting on the big profits in market like South Korea and Taiwan have been looking for their profits there, and this is nudging like them to look at India again, despite India's relatively weaker earnings compared to some other markets. He did add like a note of cautions though, like it may take some before FI become consistent, sustained bias in India, but the phase of frontless selling does appear to be behind us. So yeah, that's a big talking point for this week. And are we finally seeing the tide turn on FII flows? So keep that in your mind as we go through the rest of this week's data. So another point, we'll talk about the crude oil. So why did crude oil weakens on Friday? Everyone must be wondering and confused because why does that matter so much for our market? Let's just talk about that next because it connects directly to the big overnight development now. So yeah, we were talking about commodity, the crude oil. So what's the big news that overnight news which actually impacted the crude oil? So this is one actually the most important pieces of the news that been driving sentiment, not just today but through the whole last few sessions. It's about the crude oil and the decisions from OPEC. So here's what happened. OPEC like agreed to further increase its oil output like targets starting in August, and this comes on top of similar production increases that were actually already made for June and July. Specifically, reports suggest that OPEC has agreed to raise output by around 1,88,000 barrels per day from coming August. So now, why does this matter for us, like the Indian people? Simple. It's just completely simple. India is one of the largest importers of crude oil in the whole world, as we know. And when oil supply increases, prices also like tend to fall. And when oil prices fall, it's actually great news for our economy. It means lower import bills for the country and lower fuel costs, which can ease inflation pressure. So yeah, I was talking about crude, how it's actually like falling crude, how it's impacting India and how it affects India. So as I mentioned, lower import bills like for the country and lower fuel costs, which actually may ease the inflation pressure, and better margins for companies like airlines, paint companies, and tire manufacturers who are like completely who use oil-based inputs. More room for the Reserve Bank of India to think about interest rates favorably. So when we saw crude weekend on Friday, that's exactly why our market cheered on Friday. So let's just look at the actual numbers. Brent crude slipped about 0.6%, to trade near 4 months lows around 71.70 barrel, $71.70 per barrel, while the US crude lost about 0.5%, trading near $68.38 per barrel. Some reports even had Brent around $72.41 a barrel, depending on the timing of the update. But the broader picture is clear that oil is trending down and it's nearly multi-month low. This is actually genuinely one of the best prices of macro news for whole Indian markets right now. And because it touches inflation and also the corporate margins and the currency and also overall investor sentiment, all there at once. So yeah, also you guys be wondering why US market didn't move. Some people might be confused because of the holiday factor. Some people know that actually. Now it's actually one of the news something a lot of newer investors get confused about. So let's just clear it up. Normally, when we talk about overnight cues, we mean that we did the US market to do last night because that sets the tone for whole Asia and then for India the next morning. But this time there is actually a twist because US stock market, the NYSE and Nasdaq were closed on Friday because July 3rd in observation of the Independence Day holiday. This happened because July 4th, the actual Independence Day fell on Saturday this year, and under the US holiday calendar, federal holiday landing on the Saturday are typically observed on preceding Friday. So it was holiday, like Friday was holiday for the US markets. So what does that mean for us is it means that it was simply no fresh US market data from the Friday whole night to react to. And the US market's last trading session before the weekend was actually Thursday, and the major three indices ended mixed that day. Now US trading resumed today, Monday, and which is like July 6th, same as Indian market opened. So, in that sense, today both India and the US are opening after the same similar gap, and later tonight, when US session begins, today's when we'll get the next real read on global risk appetite. And this also explains why overnight queues going into today's Indian session were actually a bit quiet from the US side. And most of the real action was coming from like Asian markets instead. Let's just talk about that next. So, with the US market share, all eyes overnight were on Asia, and honestly, the picture there was like quite mixed, not a clean risk on or risk off move, but a real actually mixed bag. Most Asian markets were trading lower on Monday, uh, Monday morning as crude oil prices edged higher in early trade. A bit of contrast to the broader weekly trend of falling oil, but a short-term move can wobble around. Here's the actually breakdown, which is like Japan's Nikkei declined about 1%. Also, China's Shanghai composite fell around 0.6%. South Korea's Kospi dropped sharp near 2.2%. It's actually a pretty significant fall in South Korea's Kospi, and Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index, on the other hand, which is advanced about 0.9%. So, guys, you can see that isn't this isn't just a whole region moving on a one direction. It's kind of morning. Like Japan and South Korea were under pressure. China was mildly negative, but Hong Kong actually gained. You can check. It has gained 0.9%. This kind of divergence usually reflects country-specific factors like profit booking after recent rallies in South Korea and Taiwan being one of them. So which, as we mentioned earlier, it is the actual part of the reason FIR like rotating some money back to India. This mixed Asian picture is actually exactly why GIFT Nifty, which is essential, the Indian market's overnight indicator, was hitting at a soft, muted start for us today. So let's just talk about the GIFT Nifty signal and also how the actual opening turned out to be quite different today. So we'll talk about the gap which is in the GIFT Nifty. I'll put the GIFT Nifty chart here. So if the chart is in front of you guys, you can actually look at the chart. This one's actually part of lot of you guys been waiting for the actually gap up or gap down story for the day in GIFT Nifty. So going into the opening bell, GIFT Nifty futures were like indicating a lower opening for a Indian equity benchmark. So specifically, GIFT Nifty on the NSE International Exchange was around 30 points up at 24,322.50 in absolute value. But this level was actually hitting a fair muted, cautious start compared to Friday's closing levels. And the report had it even morely pricely. So Nifty futures at Gift City, like Gandhinagar, declined 29 points to 24,323 amid weak cues from Asian markets. So going by this indicator alone, most traders were expecting a flat to slightly negative start today, but this is actually a classic case of Gift Nifty, signaling like caution because of weak Asian markets on the like overnight. So actually, but here's one quiz. The actual market open turned out quite different. Like in the pre-open session, the Nifty 50 settled 36 points or like 0.15%, also higher at 24,306.85. And the BSE Sensex jumped nearly 177 points or 0.23% to settle at 77,940.90. And this positively bias actually build up further as trading began. By around 9:18 to 9:31 a.m., the Nifty 50 was up 0.33% or about 80 points, trading at 24,351.10. The Sensex has risen like 0.4% or 315% to 78,078.76. So instead of just muted or slightly negative start from the gift nifty was hinting at, we actually got a gap up opening with genuine follow through buy, but changed the story. The answer is here. The complete answer is actually simple because banking stocks, the Nifty and Sensex rose as bank stocks advanced and tracking gains in their Asian banking peers, and specifically Axis Bank, HDFC Bank, Bharat Electronics were the top gainers on the Nifty 50. So even the broader Asian market turn like overnight was cautious. Our own banking sector has its own domestic trigger, and the trigger was HDFC's bank's business update, which we're going to dig up properly right now because this one's genuinely one of the most important stocks. Specific stories of today. So we'll talk about the SDFC Bank's Q1 business update, the start of the day. So, why you guys think why was this HDFC Banks leading the charge today? I think everyone's having a doubt. Everyone's having their own answer. I just want to know your answer and conclusion. Just let me know those in the comment section because we can have a good convo and interactive session. So I'll tell the answer for now. Let me know your thoughts about this. So actually, it comes down to the quarterly business update, and honestly, the number are quite strong here. HDFC Bank released its business update for the first quarter of FY27, showing a consistent growth in both advanced and deposits. Growing better than the rest of the banking sector in the term and also the credit growth. Let's get into the actual figures, which are like gross advances came in 30.61 lakh, 3161 lakh crore as on of the June 2026, marking a 15.4% increase compared to 26.53 lakh crore in the same period of last year. Also on deposits, period in deposits stood around 31.7 lakh crore, growing 14.7% over 27.64 lakh crore last year. And importantly here, the bank's CSSA, CSA deposits, that's current account and saving account deposits, the cheaper, the more stable source of funding for a bank rose 9.4% to 10.25 lakh crore as June 30, 2026. So there is actually important nonce here. That's there is a provisional numbers. They are like they don't include profitability or asset quality details yet, but fully quarterly results with profit numbers will come later. But even without that, the business movement shown by HDFC Bank is actually strong signal, and it's the largest private sector in the bank in the banks of India right now, and so this naturally puts it in the spotlight as soon as we trading like resumes. So you guys be wondering like why does this matter beyond just the one stock? Correct, right? So HDFC Bank has a massive weight in both the Nifty, also on the Sensex, and in the Bank Nifty index also. When it moves up strongly, like it goes up strongly, it pulls the whole index with it. There is actually a big part of why you're seeing there is a gap up despite a cautious overnight setup from the Asia in Bank Nifty. So also we'll look at how different sectors are behaving today because this tells us like where real strength and weakness lies. So Nifty Bank and Nifty Private Bank with the outperformance today, and while Nifty IT and Nifty Media were sectors declining the most. About these particular sector-wise performance, we'll talk about it 12, 12 p.m. with a detailed stock and detailed sector-wise performance with the current updated heat map. Yeah, the couple of other stories which flagging quickly before we wrap up are like first one is Oberoi Realty. Oberoi Realty announced its sold luxury homes worth 8,109 crore in the its newly launched project in Gurugram, driven by strong consumer demand. And this is a big number and reflects continued strength in the luxury housing segment, especially in the Delhi, also NCR market, where the company had only recent made its foray. The second one is on the currency front. The rupee opened 2 paise weaker against the US dollar, today at 94.23. Compared to the Friday's close at 95.21, a small move, nothing dramatic, but worth tracking, especially with the crude oil trends and FII flows, with both being live topics this whole week. And also the finally the on the diplomatic front, it's Indian External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar concluded at a visit at Qatar. aimed at strengthening the long-standing strategic partnership between New Delhi and Doha. Not a direct market mover, but relevant background context for anyone tracking India's broader economic and also energy relationship with the Gulf region. So let's just go through the some technical levels for those who like tracking the charts, who want to track the charts. Also, we'll be giving some technical levels. You just cautiously just check out the levels. So on the bank nifty, the picture is a bit more cautious technically for today. Even though there is sector is ledging gains today, according to the Sudeep Shah, the head of technical and derivative research at SBI Securities, also bank nifty formed a sizable bearish candle on the daily chart as it entered the weakening quadrant on the relative rotation graph. So, indicating a fading momentum, even though it's still maintaining a relative strength against the broad market, it noted that RCI is moving sideways. So, reinforcing on the ongoing consolidation phase. Yeah, guys, I was talking about the Bank Nifty technical levels. So, in terms of levels, immediate resistance for Bank Nifty is placed at the 58,400 to 58,500. That zone sustained move above that could push it towards like 58,900 and then 59,300 in the short term. On the downside, immediate support is placed near 57,500 to 57,400 in that zone. For Nifty itself, it formed a small bearish candle that stayed within the previous session's range, signaling consolidation, which stock specific action like happening around 58,000 level on a bank Nifty side, but Nifty itself hovering near 24,000 zone now. So overall technical picture suggests that we are still in a bit of a consolidation zone. Even with the today's gap up, the next few session will tell us like whether this breakout into a clean uptrend or stays range bound. So you should just keep your eye on these particular news which I am mentioning now. One is U.S. markets have reopened today after their 3 days holiday. So tonight's U.S. session will be the first real read on global sentiment in a few days. Keep your and like eye on that because it will set the tone for our like today's morning's session as well. So the number two is earning season in kicking off. Like HDFC Bank has already given us a preview with its business update as we discussed. But full F1 FI27 results, like along with other major banks and companies, will start rolling in over the coming weeks. So this is going to be one of the biggest drivers of stock specific action, and you should keep your eye on this also. And the third one will be keep tracking FI flows closely. We saw a shift to net buying on Friday after a long stretch of heavy selling this year. If that continues even for a few more sessions, it could be a meaningful trend, change trend for the market. And yeah, again, you shouldn't forget the crude oil with the OPEC increasing supply from August. This, yeah, prices already near 4 month lows. We already like discussed. This is a genuinely positive macro tailwind for India. Keep watching if this trend sustains the same. And yeah, technically we are talking both Nifty and Bank Nifty are in a bit of like consolidation same zone as we discussed now. So don't just get too carried away by one gap up today. Watch how the market behaves around these resistance and support zones we just discussed now. So that's it for the today's market wrap. And so, as I mentioned in every session, that it is just the informational and education purpose, not just the investment advice. Whatever the calls we give, whatever the positions and levels we give, just check out and keep your eye on those levels for your knowledge purpose and for your for your learning purpose. Just check out and keep your eye on the stocks and the levels we are mentioning in the video for the whole session. And let me know your own favorite stocks. Let me know in the comments. We'll be back with the commodity updates now. So as we discussed, we are back with the community updates and also the regional news, which are actually impacting the uh, Indian market. So first, just we'll talk about the gold, silver, and crude now, because this is something every trader and investor should know, and also tracking alongside with the liquidity market. So yeah, we'll start with the gold. Gold is trading cautiously today and struggling to hold 1.447 lakh per 10-gram mark with mild declines. In the international market, spot gold has actually surged near 0.6% earlier, which is trading near $4,195 per ounce, but it has since given up those like gains and slipped about 0.2%, which is around $4,165 an ounce. So silver is actually underperforming gold today. So silver dropped over 1,300 rupees or about 0.6%, trading around 2,36,000 per kilogram after hitting an intraday lower near 2,36,000 internationally. Spot silver like the lot it's $62 and once mark, and it's down roughly by 1%. So now we are like gold and silver under a bit of pressure today, and two big reasons. One is the US dollar index has gained momentum and it's trading close to its 101 mark. And stronger dollar typically marks gold and silver less attractive, as we know. And second one is crude oil. Like its prices easing, it's like slightly reduced the urgency around the inflation hedging, which is also takes some shine of precious like metals in the short term. So don't forget the bigger picture here. Just like last week, gold and silver had recorded strong gains after weaker than expected US jobs, its data and lower crude prices. So this is actually a real short-term pulse, not a trend reversal. So in a market that's still fundamentally been strong through the whole year. So we'll just talk about the crude now. To recap and add a bit more color, US WTI crude is down about 0.6%. It's trading near 68.3 dollars per barrel. And Brent crude, it's slipped roughly 0.6%, which we discussed, trading around $71.67 per barrel. So prices are easing partially because of the recovering energy flows through the Strait of Hormuz, and partly because of the prospect of increasing OPEC supply, as we discussed now, which is fueling some concern about an oil glut for India. You should remember that the cheaper crude is a genuine tailwind, easing our import bill and inflation pressure. It's actually beneficial for India, also the Indian businesses. So from the past week, we are talking about the US job data and dollar and rate expectation. So the same news continues for this week also. Let's just zoom in some important like global data points that are actually quietly sharpening the sentiment of this whole week. And the one and big news here is US non-farm payrolls data released last week shows the US economy, which is added just 57,000 jobs in June. So this is a smaller gain in 4 months and well below the forecast around 1,10,000 jobs. So this is a soft number and it matters a lot because a weaker jobs market usually means the US Federal Reserve has like more room for considering the cutting interest rates. So in fact, this weak print has already prompted traders to reduce their bets on the rate hike in September. So, because of this, markets are now leaning towards a more dovish Fed stance going like forward. So, as an Indian market watcher, as an investor, why should you care about the US jobs data? So, you might be wondering, might be questioning for yourself, or might be the one question may be coming in your mind why, like I'm mentioning this particular US jobs data news, why it's impacting. Why you care? Because Fed policy directly affects global money flow, right? So if the money signal, if the Fed signal rate cuts are coming, money tends to flow out of the safe, like US essence and its higher grower emerging market, like also the India. So keep this thread running in your mind through the whole week. Soft US job data like plus dovish Fed expectations could actually be another supportive factor for FII flows into the whole India, alongside the profit booking in Asia story we discussed earlier. Also, you should remember this point that the Strait of Hormuz. So, this is a critical oil shipping route that we had been disrupted due to the border US-Israel Iran conflict tensions. We are now seeing energy flows through this route recovering actually. So, which is directly contributing the crude oil easing. So, yeah, this is a geopolitical story that's been running for a while, and any escalations or de-escalations there has a very real and very direct impact on oil prices, by extension on Indian markets. So I must mention this news about the semiconductor push, and also once I have mentioned about this particular news on Friday, also the Tata Electronics ASML story. It's actually running through the whole social media right now. This is a story, actually a big story, and I really want to break it down clearly for you because there is often some confusion around which Tata companies involved. So let's just get into the exact right point here. So the company at the center of India's biggest semiconductor push is Tata Electronics. As we know, not Tata Motors, Tata Electronics. So Tata Motors make cars and commercial vehicles, but Tata Electronics is a separate part of the Tata Group that's specifically building Indians' semiconductor manufacturing capability. So it's an easy mix of because both are Tata companies, but for anyone trading these stocks, this is the distinction really like actually matters. So here's the story that Tata Electronics has signed a landmark memorandum of understanding with the ASML, the Dutch company that is the world's leading manufacturer of the ultra advanced lithography machines used to fabricate semiconductor chips. So this deal was signed during Prime Minister Modi's visit to the Netherlands. As you guys read the news about the Modi visiting the Netherlands, he has signed this deal with ASML. So it's aimed at supporting Tata Electronics' upcoming semiconductor fabrication planned in Dholera, Gujarat, Modi's like home state, of course. Let's just scale because this is a genuinely massive. Tata Electronics is investing about $11 billion into this Dholera's facility, which will be India's first commercial 300 or 12-inch semiconductor fab. Once operational, it will manufacture chips for sectors like artificial intelligence, automotive, mobile devices, etc. So ASML will supply its advanced lithography tools. And just to put this in a perspective for you, a single one of these lithography machines can cost anywhere between $60 million and $60 million to $100 million, like per each. So that actually tells you how capital intensive and how strategically important this technology transfers really is. So why this is such a big geopolitical and economic story? You guys be wondering because ASML's technology is so advanced that so tightly controlled that China has effectively been blocking from accessing it. Yeah, right. You guys been like reading this story in the social media, I guess. So when Indians secure this kind of like partnership with ASML, it's a clear signal that the Western technology alliance, the US, the Netherlands, their partners, are positioning India as a trusted and alternative manufacturing hub in a global chip supply chain. So that's a huge vote for confidence for India's long-term industrial and tech ambitions. And you'll be wondering this, like, why does this matter for the Indian stock market specifically, right? Because the only reason is India currently imports the bulk of its semiconductor chips. We know that, and we don't yet manufacturing the advanced chip that go into things like smartphones and AI systems. Yeah, right. So reducing the import dependency has many implications. So it helps us our trade balance and it creates high skilled manufacturing jobs, and it also makes India as a serious node in a global electronics and also auto supply chain. There is a structural multi-year story, not a one-day trading trigger. It's exactly like the kind of theme that keeps semiconductors and electronics manufacturing stocks. It constantly investors like focus. ನೋಡ್ತಾವ್ರೆ.
So, welcome everyone to today's live analysis for July 6, 2026. We are currently looking at the Nifty 50, which closed the previous session at 24,270, and it is currently trading at 24,411. So, before that, our software has predicted a buy signal which gave on 921, and we had captured 70 points from it. So the mood on Dalal Street is cautiously optimistic. We are seeing a second consecutive session where Nifty has held above the critical 24,150 support zone. So which is strong technical signal. And furthermore, the India VIX has dropped to 11.80, multi-month low, which typically indicates a calm, low volatility environment where premium sellers often have a statistical edge. So we'll just look at the option chain chart. We'll look at the open interest. So 24,150 is the must hold support. If we breach this, we look towards 24,050, then a critical floor at 23,900. So the primary bull target today is 24,400, where the current exact price is trading. So if you manage a 30-minute candle close about 24,400, it opens a path to extended bull target of 24,600. And the gamma exposure flip point is at 24,300. Staying above 24,300 helps helps stabilize the market, while falling below it allows traders to potentially amplify move towards the 24,400 24,000 put wall. So if we mark the levels here, so the green bars represent put open interest and red bars are call open interest. So we consider put open interest as support, which are these green bars, and call open interest as resistance. So high red bars specifically specific strike shows where sellers are aggressively defending their position. With the current PCR of 1.261, we are seeing a high concentration of put activity, while this often signals a defensive position or hedging, and a very high ratio can also be a contrarian indicator suggesting the market might be stretched. So always combine the PCR with the price action. So we see a PCR of 1.319. So if you see rising prices with increasing call OI, that's a warning. But rising prices with rising put OI often confirms a healthy long buildup. So if we look at the news and sectors today, understanding what's driving the market, the IT sector is a major pillar today. HCL Technology recently secured a massive 1.14 billion AI-led deal, sparking a 5.74% rally and helping sustain the Nifty's momentum. So if we look at the corporate updates, Adani Enterprise is in the spotlight after successfully raising 15,000 crores via QIP. So the issue was oversubscribed nearly 4 times, signaling strong institutional confidence despite recent noise. So we are in the buy the dip environment as long as we hold 24 150. We are watching for a move towards 24 400, which recently reached now. So if it holds above 24 400, a 15 minutes candle close above 24 400 will definitely help the price to move till the next resistance zone. So this content is for education and information purpose only and does not constitute financial investment or trading advice. So trading in a stock market, especially in futures and options, involves significant risk of loss and may not be suitable for all investors. So the analysis provided, including reference to the data, is based on current market metrics and does not guarantee future results. So always have a proper risk management before executing any trade. So this is for Nifty, and we'll just move to Bank Nifty within 5 minutes. So if we look at the Bank Nifty, we'll just look at the technicals first. So currently market is trading near a strong resistance level. So wait for the price to close above this level. Yeah. So we got a strong trend line break here. So maybe price could retest and close above this level, which is 58,300. So we'll just look at the option chain chart, open interest. So the market has been facing some selling pressure lately. We saw the index slip on Friday as major banking stocks like Axis Bank, SBI faced headwinds. So, however, if we look at the India VIX, it is at low 11.87, suggesting a low volatility environment where premium sellers generally have an edge. We are watching to see if the index can stabilize after Friday's pullback. So the at the money strike is at 54,300. So currently the price is trading at 58 to 73. So we identify support zones by looking for high green bars where put writers are actively defending the index. Conversely, high red bars indicating heavy call writing, which acts as an immediate overhead resistance. So the current PCR is at 0.804 with an overall PCR at 0.8828. In the index option markets, a PCR in the 0.7 to 1 range is often considered neutral to mildly bullish. It tells us that the market participation are not currently in a state of extreme panic or excessive optimism. So before using this, use this as a strategy. Like I'll just tell how to read this open interest. So long build up. If you see the price rising alongside rising OI, so when you see a price rising and you see a green bars also increasing the straight bars, so it signals underlying bullish strength. Short build up. If price falls while OI is increasing, that is a bearish signal of fresh selling. And the another thing is short covering. So a rising price paired with falling OI suggests traders are exiting the short position, which can lead to quick upward momentum. So keep a close watch on the strike price with highest OI bars. For example, we see a 58,000 where we see a decline in call OI. So call OI has decreased by minus 1.28 lakhs, whereas the put OI has increased by 67.83k. So we saw a slight correction moment where we see a decrease in the call OI. So this suggests that the bulls are very strong. The sellers are panicking. So as we move through the session, remember that Bank Nifty remains a high beta index. Use the OI data as a filter for your trades, not just a trigger. So if we hold current support levels, we look for a consolidation. If the resistance wall at the highest strike price in the image breaks, we could see a shift in momentum. So trade with discipline and keep your risk management tight. So just mark these level 58,000. We have a strong support at 58,000. 58,000 and we have a strong resistance at 59. 59,500 would be your first resistance. We could see a slight increase in 58 300. But 58 500 would be the first major resistance and 59,000 would be the second major resistance. So the price is currently trading near 59,300. So wait for the price to close above this. So once you get a proper close above this, then that signals you a strong bullish momentum. And yeah, as I said, the first major resistance would be around 59 500. Right. Yeah. So this would be the analysis for Bank Nifty. So the content is for educational and informational purpose only and does not constitute financial investment or trading advice. So trading in the stock market, especially in future and option, involves significant risk of loss and may not be suitable for all investors. So the analysis provided, including reference to the data, is based on current market metrics and does not guarantee future results. So always have a proper risk management or consult a financial advisor before making any financial investment decision. So I'm not responsible for any financial losses incurred based on this discussion. Yeah. So we'll also just move to bank. We have completed the bank nifty and nifty. So let me know your views on this particular indexes. Does your analysis align with our discussion? Let me know in the comments. So yeah, we'll just move to the Sensex analysis as well. So yeah, before moving to Sensex analysis, let me know if you have any. Let me know your views on both the index Nifty and Bank Nifty. Let us know if your analysis aligns with our discussion that we had a few minutes before. Yeah. So the market sentiment is constructive today. So we'll just change the. So despite a modest weakening in the rupee, investors are focusing on broader macroeconomic fundamental and positive institutional sentiment. So the index is hovering near 78,000. 250 level. Just a minute. Yeah, so the index is hovering near 78,200. So in this chart, the green bars represent put open interest, which we consider as support, and red bars interest, call open interest, which we consider as resistance. So we can clearly see significant red bars forming to the high of the current spot price, indicating where call writers are defending their position against further upside. Conversely, the concentrated green bars are left represent the current support walls. So if you look at the PCR, we can see PCR stands at 1.81. A PCR above 1 suggests that a writing is currently quite active, signaling a defensive or cautiously bullish stance among institutional players. So if we look at the when we look at the Sensex, keep these factors in mind for your trading strategy. So when we look at the IT sector context, the broader IT sector has faced a difficult year with significant year-to-date drawdowns due to AI-related structural fears. So the market remains a buy on dips environment. We look for the change in bars. If the price move up and the green bars grow, it confirms a healthy long build up. So we can see the price is currently moving upside. It's a clear uptrend, and we can see that the bars have been increasing. The striped bars is increased OI. So the put OI has increased by 10.77 lakhs, where we can see this hollow block, which indicates a decrease in the particular bar. So call OI has decreased by minus 2.51 lakh. So, with the securities transaction tax hikes from the 2026 budget, specifically 0.05% for futures and 0.15 for option premiums, ensure your trading sizing accounts for the higher transaction cost, especially for intraday scalping. So to wrap up, Sensex is displaying resilience today with positive breadth in the market as 1,669 shares rose compared to 1,561 that fell. So keep a close eye on 78,000 to 78,250 range. If the index sustain above this, the bulls are likely to remain in control. So remember to keep your stop losses tight and monitor the live shifts as the session progress. So as always, this content is for educational and informational purpose only, and it does not constitute financial investment or trading advices. So trading in the stock market, especially in futures and options, involves significant risk. So it may not be suitable for all investors. So the analysis provided, including reference to the data, is based on current market metrics and it does not guarantee any future result. So always consult a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. So we are not responsible for any financial losses incurred based on this decision. So if you look at the technical levels in the chart, it's currently trading near a strong trend line. So just wait for the close above this level so that we can confirm the strong uptrend movement that's happening right now. And we can consider a position keeping SL below this trend line level and targeting a positive risk reward. Right. So this would be the analysis on all the indexes we have done for Nifty, Bank Nifty, and Sensex. So let me know if your plan or if your analysis aligns with our discussion. Let me know in the comments. Or if you have any different view, also put it in the comments so that we'll understand that and try to figure out the zones, particular zones for it. So yeah, so we have discussed all the index, Nifty, Bank Nifty, and Sensex. So we'll also just discuss about the stocks based on open interest and heat maps, sectoral performance. So until then, we'll just look at the chart on how the price reacts for it. So yeah, as we discussed, we saw a candle holding above 24,400. So we didn't see a 15 minutes candle break below the 50,400 level, and it has given a strong momentum candle now. So once you see a break above this resistance level, you can look for the next proper resistance that we discussed. So if we look at the Nifty chart, yeah. So if we look at the Nifty, sorry, yeah. So we can see that the next proper resistance would be at 24, yeah, 24,500. But even though if we see the red bar is towering the green bar, but we see that there are many put OI contracts being added. We can see that 66.50 lakhs has been added in the put OI bar, and 44.66 lakhs has been added by a call OI bar. So if you look at the open contracts, we can see that the total OI consists of all OI consists of 18.5 CR, and total put OI is 29.95 CR. We can see that put OI is also increasing. So consider 23,500 would be your next immediate resistance level. 23,450. We can't see 23,450 as a strong resistance, but yeah, even 24,450 is a resistance. So keep eye on this level currently. So morning we got a proper buy signal from our indicator at 9:21. So we had gained around 75 points nearly. So we also got a signal in Sensex as well. So we had gained 240 points in Sensex. So since price has been holding above this level, we have a strong chance of uptrend till the next resistance level, which is at 24,450. So price has also tapped to this demand zone here. So if we see price closing above this resistance level, that's a strong confirmation. Price has tapped in this resistance level but failed to break the 24,400. So if you have to know more about our tool, you can click our demo link which we have pasted in the chat box, so that our team will contact you and they'll guide you how this tool works and how to read this tool. So this particular tool gives us more than 80%. So we get a proper buy signal. See, we would have captured this gap up as well, which is around 600 points. And if we look at today's trade, we got a buy signal at exactly at 921. So we got around 235 points today. So it works in all type of traders. It works for all type of traders, whether you are a scalper, whether you are a swing trader, or positional traders. So if you would have a swing trader, you would have got a particular entry here. So you would have gained around 1,000 points. It marks exact reversals. It doesn't just give you signals in a trend moment or a downtrend moment. It exactly spots retracement levels. So it's a combination of 18 to 25 indicators, where we have included 17 indicators in one particular indicator and other 8 indicators in a second indicators, which you see here, oscillator AI signal. So it just gives you multiple time frames bias. So we can see that the Sensex is showing currently bias in all the time frames, and you can add your favorite stocks, around 5 to 6 stocks, which you need to keep. You can keep in your watch list and look at all the stocks in multiple time frame. So this green or red is based on the divergence that we get in the oscillator. So once we get a divergence in a higher time frame, it plots green. If we get a bullish divergence, it plots green in the day time frame. So once you get these hourly 4 hours and day time frame green, then you can get an idea that the long term trend is bullish, then you can confirm with these indicators. So once you get a bullish signal, then you can look for a buy signal here. You can even wait for a proper confirmation once you get a buy signal. So once you get a buy signal, you can look for a demand candle close above this demand zone, and then you can execute your trade for confirmation. So if you have any doubts, just click the demo link that we have pasted in the comment section chat box. So our team will contact you and let you know about the tool. So price is currently trading near the supply zone, but it has closed above this resistance level. So just wait for this resistance break for continuation. So yeah, we'll be back in another 15 minutes. We'll just discuss the stocks based on open interest to look for today, and we will also discuss the sectoral performance to understand which sector is performing good and which sector is not. So until then, if you have any favorite stock to analyze, just put it in the comments.
So, hey guys, as we discussed, we are here for the open interest jump. We'll discuss about the open interest, which and all the stocks which has gained the open interest, and also I'll be telling by end of this I'll be telling the stocks you should look for the whole day. Just keep your eye on the particular stocks which I mentioned. So honestly, this is my favorite part of the market day because the price chart tells you what happened and also the open interest data. Also, I'll tell you the who's behind the sudden jump of the OI, and importantly, whether they're planning to stick around or not. Let's just like rush this. We'll just go through this properly, name by name. I'll just explain why behind each of the stocks as simply as I can. So just let me just tell you the most basic part that because I know not everyone watching this is a derivatives like expert, and that's totally fine because that's exactly why I'm here. So every session I'll be before actually telling about the open interest, I'll be telling about the uh, definition of open interest. Because some people who are just new to the market, they just don't know the open interest, and they just completely depend on the news which circulate in the social media, and according to that, they'll just uh, take the financial decisions. So I'll be telling you what exactly is open interest. Think of open interest like a big whiteboard where every open bet is futures and options market get written down. Okay. So when a new person plays a fresh position, say someone buys a future contract for the first time, a new line gets added to the whiteboard. Okay. Someone closes their bet and walks away, a line gets erased. Okay. So open interest is simply that the total number of lines still standing on the whiteboard at any given time. I hope this is a complete clear picture idea of what exactly is open interest. So yeah, I'll just tell you why this matters so much. So as a trader, open interest actually a quick checkout before actually taking any positions, and I'll tell you why it matters a lot. So if stocks price is going up and at the same time OI is also going up sharply, that tells you fresh money is coming in. So real conviction here is building. People are placing a new bets that are like stocks will keep climbing. But if stocks price is going up while OI is falling, that's actually a warning sign. Like it usually means short sellers are getting like squeezed, rushing to close their bets. Not that fresh buyers are coming in with confidence. So same logic works in the reverse on the downside. So OI is like a lie detector test for the price movement. So it tells you whether whether like move has a real backing behind it, whether it's just noise. Let's just the it's just a clear picture idea of what exactly open interest is. I hope you guys are like very clear about the why. I think, yeah, you can ask the any questions if you want in the comment section, any definition of any particular name. If you are completely new to the market and if you want to know more about it, just let me know in the comments. And if you don't know the terms which most of the traders are using and you're actually struggling to understand those terms, just let me know in the comments. I'll just brief about it in a easy way so that you get it and every complete new trader can understand it. So yeah, just let's just go through the today's data properly. The first one I'm taking, the first stock I'm taking is Radico Kaitan, which I'm taking from the past. The last week also I have mentioned Radico Kaitan twice. I hope you guys are remember. Like you just like have that in your mind. So yeah, Radico Kaitan's open interest exploded by 43.45% compared to Friday. So now in F&O terms, this is an enormous single day jump. So this is isn't just a small nudge. This is a market like basically screaming that something big is happening around its stock. So when you just dig into its the Kaitan like Radico Kaitan story, it actually makes complete sense because this is not some random spike out of nowhere. Radico Kaitan has quietly become one of the strongest wealth creation stories like in the Indian consumer space over the past few years, past 1 year though it's making some noise. So we are talking about a stock that recently touched a fresh all-time high, nearly like 3,976. So if you look at the 1 year return, it's close up to 50%. It's not a small amount. So at the time when the broader Sensex has actually been flat, like it slightly negative, let that like sink to the second. While the overall market has been struggling to find a direction, this one stock like it has been quietly compounding, whether wealth for its like shareholders. So you guys might be wondering like company's management like what happening, okay, right? Though the company's management has been like extremely vocal and confident about the growth path. One point, and their managing director like recently spoke about expecting 20% volume growth, specifically like in their premium and about segment this particular financial year, along with 25% volume growth in their luxury portfolio. So they are also expecting some their operating margins to expand their 100 basis points. So this brand alone sold more than million cases every single month when this comes about magic moments between April and June. So talking their quarterly volume to about 3.3 million cases, which is jumped over 45% from the same period last year. This is genuinely a phenomenal growth for the consumer brand like this. So I guess you got the idea that when you connect these dots, like a stock all the time, like all time high stock and management team giving a bullish future, guidance or strong volume growth in their star brand, it's also like it's not surprising that traders are piling into fresh kind of positions with a real conviction. This is what a smart money is like watching closely, like stocks like this. Yeah, the second one is Nifty. Nifty itself with 29.67 of Y jump. Actually, this one's interesting one. The Nifty index itself, so it's open interest jump by almost like 30%, which is I mentioned 29.67%. This is a massive move for a benchmark index, right? So honestly, when you see a jump like this, there could be a few different explanations running in a parallel. So people will be assuming a new different reasons to come up with the decisions, right? So sometimes this happens because we are approaching a monthly expiry and traders are like rolling over their positions from one series to next. So it's naturally like inflates the number temporarily. So sometimes it reflects a genuine build-up of a directional like bets, either a strong bullish wave building up or a hedges protecting their portfolio against volatility. The US market reopening after the holiday. Today, earnings season kicking off, and global cues from the Asia being mixed, which I mentioned in the morning about these particular newses. So, whenever the whatever the exact reason, when the index itself sees this kind of like Y surge, sudden Y surge, it usually means increased participation and also often increased volatility in the sessions. So if you are an option trader and this is a cue to watch premium levels closely and maybe tighten your risk management also. So a touch particular this week, you should just look for your risk management. Also, you should just check out this premium levels bit closely. So yeah, the next one is Bharat Dynamics BDL with a 21.05% of Y jump. So we'll just moving to the defense sector now. That's actually really interesting story when it comes to Bharat Dynamics because it is almost traders call now. Like see, its open interest has jumped to like over 21%. So BDL is a government-owned defense company. We all know that, and it's been in the news cycle quite a bit recently. We have mentioning the Bharat Dynamics since the past like 2 weeks, and just a couple of weeks ago, like they bagged an order with like 1,347 crores from Hindustan Aeronautics for Helena launchers and related countermeasures. And this order has an execution timeline It's touching anywhere from 24 to 60 months. So it's a long runway of a revenue visibility. On top of that, the company recently got a new chairman and managing director appointment. So which the market tends to watch closely because leadership changes can also like sometimes signals a fresh strategic direction. So there has been growing chatter that Indian Defence Ministry could approve closely 1 lakh crore worth of military acquisitions, and BDL along with the Bharat Electronics is being tipped as a potential beneficiary for producing equipment like K9 Vajra self-propelled habitational system and active protection system for military vehicles. There is even bit talk about of the UAE showing serious interest in India's like BrahMos missiles and also their systems, Akash Ray defense systems, and which lifted the entire defense market in recent sessions as we saw. So when you put all this together, a fresh order, leadership change, and this border narrative of Indian's defense, it makes complete sense why traders are like building up fresh positions in BDL right now. So this is the stock where the story is like doing a lot of heavy lifting, and I would genuinely encourage you to keep an this on your wish list for the next coming week, and especially if there is any confirmation on the that 1 lakh crore acquisition approval which I mentioned, just keep this in your watch list for the next coming week. BDL. Yeah, we are talking about the Loda also. It has increased up 90.60%. The broader real estate pack. So itself, Lola itself is one of the largest listed real estate developers in the country, as we know, and with a strong presence in the Mumbai metropolitan region. So this kind of sector, like wide optimism around housing demand, like tends to lift the entire real estate basket together. So this OI build up like in Loda actually like looks like traders positioning for a continued strength in the broader housing, also in the real estate theme. So there is also worth noticing in the same table that Godrej Properties it saw a rise of like 6% and Phoenix Mills, which runs premium malls and commercial real estates, saw a rise of over like 8%. Phoenix Mills. So this isn't just a one stock story; it's genuinely sector-wide theme in reality, building up in real estate right now. So Kotak Mahindra Bank also it saw OIRs of like 12%, Axis Bank is of 6.4%, HDFC of 4.57%. So all the banking pack it has become ties together. Everything we discussed earlier. So there is actually today's like gap up there in the banking sector. So also AU Small Finance Bank it also saw the solid like a 6% rise in Y. So what's actually running through this sector is basically like conforming, like with hard numbers, the exact story we saw play out in the price auction in the morning. Like remember like how banks let the gap up open, tracking gain in Asian banking pace. So when your price like story and your OI story both point in the same direction, I'm mentioning twice that when your price story and also your OI story both point in the same direction, there is usually sign of more durable, believing more, believable more. So not just a random one day spike here. I think you should keep this thing in your mind. So let's just talk. Let's just like talk to the other side, like where exactly money is walking out. We have spent a lot of time on where like fresh money is flowing in, right? So let's just talk about the other side of the content because honestly, this is just important and if no, not more like for a maybe like risk management. You should get to know about these things just to handle your risk management, not only about the why. So Bajaj Auto saw the sharpest Y decline on the entire list today, down by 5.28%. This is a meaningful drop, and when a stock like this, stock like Bajaj Auto, like a large, well-tracked auto manufacturer, sees these kind of positioning unwinding, it's worth asking why, right? So you might be wondering why. It could be a pre-results caution, or since auto companies are gearing up to report their Q1 numbers soon, and the traders might be squaring off positions ahead of the uncertainty rather than just holding through an earnings. So it could also reflect some profit booking after a good run. So either way, if you are holding the stocks or tracking it for a trade, this kind of like why decline is maybe like you should pay closer attention over the next like few coming sessions. Also, the CG Power Vita has declined to 3.22%. Power India dropped to 2.78%. Both of these are like power sector and electrical equipment names that have had strong runs over past year on the back of India's capex. A decline in OIR could simply mean that traders are like locking their profits after a strong rally rather than just sign of any fundamental weakness in their store. So Indus in banks saw Y fall off like 1.51%. Now this one's actually worth watching a bit more carefully because Indus has like had its own share of stock specific concerns over the past 1 year, and including some governance and asset quality worries that spooked investors. A continued decline in OI here could reflect lingering cautions among all the traders. So even as the rest of the banking sector, as we discussed, is seeing fresh buying interest. So this is a case where IndusInd is actually moving against the broader banking sector, and definitely want to watch separately rather than just clubbing it with the rest of the banks. You should keep your eye on IndusInd separately. Also, DMart, the retail gained saw a decline slightly of 0.92%. So, Bajaj Finance related listed peer like Bajaj Housing wasn't in the particular decline list, but it's worth noting that couple of large, well-known retail and consumption names showing mild Y decline could simplify that like reflect some rotation of money out of expensive, rich valued names. So let me just bring this all together in a single terms that today's F&O data is like basically telling us three big stories happening at once in Indian market. That is banking sector strength is real and back end by fresh money. Not just one day price pop, HDFC bank numbers, Axis Bank's gains, Kotak's AI search, these are all pointing at the same direction for now. And the second one is these are the pockets of extremely high conviction, story driven, like Radigo Kaitan, which I mentioned on the consumer premier session theme, and Bharat Dynamics on the defense order. These like aren't just broad sector moves; they are specific company level conviction plays, and that's exactly why their Y numbers are so much higher than the rest of the pack. And the third one is there is some quite profit booking happening in the handful of names like Bajaj Auto, CG Power, and IndusInd Bank, which tells you the market isn't just blindly euphoric everywhere. It's actually selectively happening beneath the surfaces. So yeah, as you guys know, it is a very healthy and discerning market like look like, as we discussed, and not everything going up together mindlessly. So but real money making real choices about where the exact next leg of growth is likely to come from. As I'm mentioning, as we are mentioning from that time, all the news, all the points, key points, whatever we're telling and having a conversation, which is all educational purposes only. Before taking any proper financial decisions, just contact your advisor or contact the right person who's more experienced, who has a good knowledge before taking any financial answers or decisions. So as you guys be wondering about the tool and all the indicators and all, you just contact us. I have mentioned the demo link in the chat box. You just contact us anytime. Our team will contact you as soon as you just register there. Just if you want more details on anything we are seeing, we are discussing, we are talking. If you want more information, just contact us. We'll get back. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you something about the market because this is what we'll be discussing, and this is what the new person who want to trade, who want to learn the trading, ask and have a curious things about this. So the stock market doesn't reward the person who's the smartest person in the room. It just always doesn't reward the person who's most smart in the room. It rewards the most patient one, and I have genuinely seen brilliant, highly educated people lose money because they couldn't sit still. And I have seen fairly simple, disciplined investors quietly build serious wealth over 15, so 20 years, 15 also some 20 years, just by not just touching their SIPs during every depend, every crash headlines. So patience isn't just glamorous; it doesn't get views on anything. It really the only strategy that's actually worked across every single market cycle in the history. You can check, ask any of your friends who's trading, who's serious about trading. So yeah, if you find any good updates and movement and any uptrend or downtrend in any of the stocks, we'll let you know in the live. Just keep your eye on. We are not encouraging you to take any kind of trades. We are just doing it for a educational purpose. So if you have any confusions about particular stock, just let me know in the comments. We'll analyze together with our tool. You guys like are seeing already. You guys are seeing what kind of like tools we are using now with a proper clear idea. So just let me know your favorite stock, and if you guys have taken any trade and you're just holding positions and you have any particular doubts or confusions about one particular stocks, so just let me know in the comments. We'll analyze it together, and As I always tell, just contact us. Better than this, you just contact us and we'll give a brief knowledge about the tool we are using currently. So we'll give a proper demo about the tool we are using right now. You can see a multiple indicator we are using currently. So all this demo you'll get when you click and contact us through the link which I mentioned in the chat box. So contact us anytime. And also, as I already mentioned, just let me know your favorite stock which you are observing from the morning or you are observing from the from past like 1 week or something. Let me know that particular stock in the comments. So yeah, guys be wondering like what tool I'm using because you guys be like if you just look at the normal trading view, you can't just see this. What I think you guys can't see the screen. Okay. Huh. If you just look at the normal trading view, I think guys can't see this much lines and indicators and all. It's our own tool. We are using AI with the integration of AI. We are using this particular chatting tool. It's our USP, our company's USP. And yeah, you can see the resistance and supports we already marked here, and also the multiple indicators here. You can see. So yeah, multiple indicators are here you can see, and also it automatically marks the trend lines. It will automatically detects is it uptrend or downtrend. It all automatically tells about the trend line. It automatically marks, and also the resistance and the supports. Also there is a EMA. See, you can see the EMA and also the stop loss, and you can see here these are the supply zones. It automatically creates a demand zone and supply zone according to the market value. So yeah, you guys be seeing this. There is a multiple indicators. So we have two indicators here. Yeah, we have clubbed. I mean, we have a multiple 24 indicators. Those we have clubbed in two different indicators here, and we are using. So if you just take our company's subscription and access from our company and our tool, you just no need to pay anything for the trading view, because you will be getting free two indicators access in the basic in plan in trading view. So here you can see multiple indicators. One is EMA and the trend lines and the support and resistance, demand zone, and here you can say you just type this different. I'll just take this Reliance. And I don't know, from the morning I didn't even like did the proper analysis, so I don't know anything about the Reliance. I just came and I'll just check here. I'll it automatically tell you in the there is you can check in the multiple time frame also. If you are a single day trader, if you are intraday trader, scalping, you do scalping and all. So you just check in 1 minute. So intra-hour and all, you can check in 3 minutes. So if you are just taking the 2 days or 3 days positions, you can check in 5 minutes or to 15 minutes. It depends on how long you're taking position. You can check in multi-frame time matrix. So here I just came in the Reliance. I just want to check the trend, and is it an uptrend or is it downtrend? Is it bullish or bearish? Is just if I enter the indicator automatically analyze and it will tell you is it in sideway. You can check here, and uptrends are two, downtrends are trend lines. According to the trend lines, it will tell you very clearly that is it a bullish or bearish, or is it a sideway. So it automatically give you, if it follows all the indicators, it will give you the buy signal. If it follows all the indicator, all the negative, that it will give you sell signal. So according to the indicators, is it a positive or negative, whatever the indicators following. So according to the those, it will give you signal here. So also you must be wondering these oscillator and all. So these are the indicators we have built, and we have clubbed in two different indicators I'm mentioning from that time. So it's a multi-frame indicator. You can just put your favorite stock here, and you can check them in the multi-frame matrix here. Is it in uptrend or downtrend? Also, it will tell you day wise bearish and bullishness. So you should to get a proper demo, you should contact us. I have mentioned the link which is in the chat box. You just contact us from that link. We'll get back to you. Our team will contact you and give a proper demo on the tool we are using, because you can't just depend on multiple and whole different indicator and analysis then come to the market, because it's kind of difficult to listen. So it just we have clubbed 24 indicators in a single frame, and we are using this framework. It's actually reasonable and helpable, and yeah, easy to use also. You just get to know about this tool more about in our you can contact us anytime from the link. So yeah, guys, if you want to do analysis, if you want to do particular stock analysis, like which is your favorite stock analysis from in this tool, from our tool, like from the past data or past data or something. If you want to do your own analysis, or you want to check our tools analysis with your stock, just let me know in the comments. Just put your favorite stock in the comments. We'll do analysis together and we'll discuss together. And yeah, we'll be back with the new updates. We'll be back. If you have any movement in the market, sudden movement in the market or call, we'll just tell you. You just need to keep your eye on the stocks.